Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Make and Take Tech Series webinar edition, sponsored by APEL and Educator Alexander. My name is Desiree Alexander. I'm the Instructional Technology Supervisor for Caddo Parish Public Schools, and I am the founder and consultant for my company, Educator Alexander. As I said, this session is sponsored by APEL, and that is the Associated Professional Educators of Louisiana. You may hear it called APEL or APEL. You can say it either way. It is a professional organization for teachers and administrators, and it's very non-political. So no one's going to tell you how to vote or how to think. It promotes teachers as professionals, and it is non-profit. Some of the benefits of being an APEL educator is that you do get the professional liability insurance that you would get with your traditional union. You get legal services and advice, $30,000 in grants and scholarships for Louisiana teachers and paraprofessionals, and I definitely apply for grants with them all the time. Also, you get like this awesome professional development opportunity. You get cash bonuses for actually sharing APEL with your coworkers, and you become part of a statewide network of over 7,000 high-quality teachers. 5 quick notes that helped me decide to become an APEL member. The first biggest one for me was that it was $16.58 per month, and I was paying like $40 and $50. It was $16.58 per month, so if you get paid twice a month, that's $9 per check for that liability insurance and the connections that you make. You can apply online or through a paper application. You can complete a union drop form, and APEL will drop your union for you. It's almost like when you go to a new cell phone carrier and they say, well, we'll break up with them for you. APEL breaks up with them for you. It is not a union. It doesn't get political, and I appreciated that because I didn't want to get all these political messages around, especially around election times. And I like that it accepted teachers and administrators. So I knew when I got out of the classroom and I wanted to become an administrator, I wouldn't have to change. I could stay part of this organization. So to become an APEL member, you have several ways. On the sign-in, it asks you if you're interested with more information. So if you clicked yes, I will send you more information. I'll send you the application and everything that you need. If you didn't click yes and you are interested, just go ahead and type in the chat box. And after the session, I'll look back at the top of the chat. And if I see anybody there that said that you're interested, I'll send you the information if you didn't put yes on the sign-in. At the end, we will have an evaluation. It's very, very simple. All you do is go to comments and leave a comment about the training. I will put this back up when we are done. What is branding? First of all, a lot of people think of branding as just a logo, and it's not just a logo. It's a lot more to it. It's a whole marketing strategy that involves showing how you are different from everybody else in your profession. And I'm going to show you step by step how you create your brand. So first of all, let's look at what is branding. So we looked at the video of what is branding, and I really like that video because it gets us in the mindset of, okay, well, can I be a brand like some of those companies were a brand? Absolutely. So the first thing you need to think about is, who is your consumer? Who do you actually want to target with your brand? So you can think about, you have your other professionals, you have your peers, you have your students, you have your parents, and then you have your community. And when you're branding, you need to think about your community as more than just the people right outside your house or right outside of your school. You need to think about it as more of a global community. And if you have any questions or comments while we're going through it, please go ahead and use the chat box. So first of all, why do you brand? So if you say, well, I want to brand because I want to make some more money, you can go work at McDonald's and make more money. That's not really a reason to brand yourself. Why are you going to brand yourself? You're going to establish an image for yourself and control your message. As educators, we don't get to control our message that often. It's always someone telling us what our value is or telling us why we are not valuable. So you get to control your own message when you brand yourself. You engage your stakeholders and you build that trust from them. Okay, think about your favorite product. Think about your favorite lotion. You know, if you went to Walmart to buy your favorite lotion, that favorite brand that you have, most people, some people just buy whatever's the cheapest, but most people have that favorite brand. And if they raise that lotion bottle by $5, you would complain all the way to the register, because that's still your brand. That's still your baby. So that's what you want yourself as an educator to be. That when they think of you, they have such trust that they'll move across the state to make sure that they are with you and their students are being taught by you. Okay? It shows your value, it shows your worth and your skills. I love that when you brand, you are consistently self-reflecting. You don't have a choice. You're constantly saying, how can I do better? How can I do better? How can I do better? And that's what we want to do as educators. You connect to your global peers. It's not just you in your one school anymore. You share and learn at the same time, and it does affect your employability. If I see someone that has branded themselves, I know that they're going a little bit above and beyond, that they're thinking on more of a global scale of how can they share what they know and how can they learn even more. So where do you start? And this is what this presentation is all about. So I have 2 planning templates on my website that you are welcome to use. This one is more of a circular plan, and then there's more of a flowchart plan. So it just depends on how your mind works and how you want to organize yourself. So we're going to go through each one of these tonight. First and foremost, you have to have a goal. You have to have a vision of why do you want to do this. So really, really think about yourself. What are your biggest strengths? What are your passion areas? When I ask that, your passion area will be the place that even if you won $1 million, you would still do it. It wouldn't stop you from doing it. That's a passion. So what are your passionate areas? What are you truly passionate about? What makes you different from every other educator that teaches math? What makes you different from every other administrator? What makes you unique? Truly answer that and truly do some self-reflection. And if you sit there and you think, well, really nothing, I'm kind of like everybody else, I promise you, you're not. Everybody has something that they can share. Everybody has something that makes them unique. Ron Clark wasn't born Ron Clark. He realized, hey, I have these attributes. I have this that makes me unique. Let me go for it. Okay, Harry Wong wasn't born Harry Wong. They realize what they're passionate about, what makes them unique, and they go for it. Determine that target audience. Do you want to concentrate on students? Do you want to concentrate on parents? Do you want to concentrate on community, being active in schools? You know, there's a group that really don't have that much targeted to them, and that's administrators. If you really think about it, there's not much that's saying, hey, let me come teach administrators what to do. So that could be a target audience. If you answer, well, everybody's my target audience. No, they're not. You need to pick a target audience of who your brand is for. And then create a communication plan. And that's what I'm about to help you with. Do some research and see who's already out there doing what you want to do. When I started Educator Alexander, I knew that my target audience were teachers. So I went out and saw, okay, who is the top in the game? Who's doing this already? How are they doing it? Connect with those people. See what you can do differently, but learn. Don't think you have it all figured out. Learn from your mentors. Start getting with those people. I'm telling you now that some of them will be very, very nice and very open and will help you out. And then some you may say, oh, I really love your website. How did you do it? And they'll say, oh, my cousin did it. No, he didn't. But that's fine. You don't want to tell me who did your website. That's fine. And you move on. But connect with those people. There's just so many awesome educators out there, guys, who's doing probably what you want to do, or at least a version of what you want to do. Connect with them. And really answer the question, where do you want to be in 5 years? Not like when we tell our kids, and it's like, oh, I want to ride a pony. Where do you honestly want to be in 5 years? And don't be afraid of your answer. Remember, any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the chat box. Then you think about the mood. What mood do you want to convey with your brand? Do you want it to be fun and kind of playful? Do you want it to be very simplistic, maybe earthy? Whatever you do, you want it to be professional. Okay, so you can be fun and playful and still be professional. You can be serious and be professional. So you need to think about kind of what mood do you want your brand to convey to the world? Sassy, feminine, masculine. Really think about, what do you want me to feel when I see your brand? And then think about the symbol. What symbol represents you? When I first started this journey, I had all kinds of stuff, guys. I love LSU, so I had purple and gold. I love Superman, so I had a Superman symbol. I love monkey, so it's like super monkey girl. And I had all kinds of stuff that didn't make any sense. So then that second question came up. What represents what you're trying to accomplish? So more than what represents you, what represents what you're trying to do? What represents what you're trying to accomplish? So I wanted to be in the education game. I thought about teachers, and an apple, it's just that classic symbol. Think about, do you want it to be cartoony? Do you want it to be a real picture? And whatever you do, please keep it positive. You'd be surprised how some brands is like, well, that's not really positive. So whatever you do, please keep it positive. That's the message we want to convey. Then think about your name. A little further in the past, when educational branding became really popular, people it was kind of the trend for you to have a name that was just very big and bold. You were Red Hat Diva teacher and all the, red green frog teacher. You have to have this kind of very creative name. And now the trend is actually just use your first and last name as your brand. So you need to decide for yourself, what do you want? I wanted my name somewhere in my brand, but I didn't want Desiree Alexander. I want Desiree Alexander to still be my personal name, and I wanted my brand to be something else. So that's how I came up with Educator Alexander. And also think about not pigeonholing yourself into one career. I've been a teacher, I've been a librarian, now I'm at the district level. So educator kind of encompassed all of that to me. So think about not pigeonholing yourself to just math, because one day you may not teach math. So think about those kind of things. For your name, you can go with the inventor's name, which would be you. You can actually describe what you do. What does Southwest Airlines do? They fly Southwest. Very simple. They tell you exactly what they do in the name. You can describe an experience or an image. What does Sprint want you to think? That they're fast. So you can describe that image. You can take a word out of context like Apple did. They took Apple and now they own it. So now if you say Apple, you don't know if you're talking about the fruit or Apple computers, or now if you're talking about APEL. You can make up a word like Google. Just make up whatever you want to. Whatever you do, I cannot stress enough to check all social media to see who has that name or if it's available. Also, when you see who has that name, also see if anyone has a name that's similar to yours. Because if you want to be, banana teacher, then go see if somebody's out there with that name. If it is, you need to change it. See if it will be confused with something else. Okay, if your name is spelled, with a Y instead of an I, where most people spell it with an I, spell it with an I and see what's out there on social media. You do not want to be confused with a serial killer. Okay, so you don't want to be confused with somebody posting inappropriate pictures everywhere. So you need to be very serious when you're checking social media, and also check the URL. See if www.whateveryouwant.com is available. So those are the things to do before you just put all your heart and soul into a name and start doing stuff. Make sure it's available. Then think about your colors. Does your color make sense with the goal and the symbol that you have? And you know that colors have emotions associated with them. So you can kind of see on these emotion guides what colors have certain emotions associated with them. And then the one versus multiple colors is not as serious now as it used to be, but just do understand that if you get 10 colors in your logo, and then when you kind of get a little bit further and you start printing that on shirts and bags and things like that to give out, just understand that usually every color is an extra charge. So do think about that with your colors. And think about that every single color in there is a color. So if you look at my apple, that green counts, that yellow counts, that red counts. So that purple counts. So that's 4 different colors. So do think about that before you come up with your colors and your brand. Now you can always change it and say, we'll just put it in one color. But, just something to think about. And then you have your tagline. What your tagline does is it explains to me what your brand does, especially if your brand is your name. If your brand is your name, I'm not going to know what you do. So your tagline needs to be something that tells me what you do, and it needs to be very, very short. It's not your mission statement. It's not your vision statement. It's something that just quickly tells me, oh, this is what she does. So think about that. You can answer. I'm not going to go through all these questions, but these are the questions you kind of ask yourself while you're coming up with your tagline. Why do you exist? What are you striving to become? What are your core values? So in 10 words or less, you're coming up with something that tells me, oh, they help teachers. Oh, they help administrators. Oh, they help students with this. So you're telling me very quickly, what do you do? Again, any questions or comments, you can just put them in the chat box. Then you have your logo. So everything comes together in your logo. You put the mood, the color, the symbol, the name. We're going to talk about websites and blogs and social media, your tagline. You can put all of it in your logo or just some of it in your logo, but it all kind of melds together in that logo. When you create your logo, you need to have different sizes, and I'm going to show you what I mean on the next slide. You want a banner size to where if you're going to put it on paper or at the top of a handout, that it looks good and it makes sense. It looks like a little banner. And then you want one that's a box size, kind of like the EA you see on the side. You want one that's a box size that can fit into little spaces. You want one with your name and one without your name. Why? Well, let's say you're putting your logo on a handout. And on the top of the handout, you have your name and maybe your email address because you're giving it out at a conference. You don't want your name in the middle of the paper and then your logo to also have your name. It's like, okay, why is his name 5 times on this paper? So you want to think about stuff like that. So have one with your name and one without your name. Like the EA right here is without my name. I don't need my name on every single slide. So that's the kind of stuff to think about. And then think about, do you want other info with it? Do you want your website underneath it? Do you want your tagline on it? The stuff you need to think about. When you do get your logos, and I'm going to give you a really great website to use to get very cheap logos. But when you're getting your logo together, you also, or when you're buying it, you also want to make a transparent copy and a white background copy. What do I mean by that? The white background copy is the one you're going to use the most. It has a white background. You can put it on anything. It looks fine. But you also want one with a transparent background that has no background. If you look on the side of this PowerPoint, if I had a white background underneath the EAs, it really would look crappy. It would not look good at all. Okay? But you want that transparent one, so if you have to put it on top of color, it can look good. Whatever you do, make it clean. Don't have those little fuzzy pictures on there. You're trying to brand yourself. You're trying to be professional, and be professional. Any questions or comments, let me know. Alright, so you see the logo right here. You see the different kinds of logos I'm talking about. So I have one that's a banner size with my name. I have one with the logo in my name. I have one without the name. And, I have different transparency and not transparency. The one at the bottom has a different background. So you want to just think about different situations that you may get into and have your logo ready for it. You can see the 5 principles of effective logo design: simple, memorable, timeless, versatile, and appropriate. You can think about the golden arches. Babies know the golden arches. How? I have no clue, but they learn it very early that that's something that I want. And all they need to see are the arches. They don't need to know. They may not even be able to say McDonald's, but they know those arches, and that's what I want. And that's what you want your logo to do. You want it to, first of all, give me that emotional appeal. And then when I see your logo on something, I want to know that I can trust that. I want to know if you're targeting students and you're doing this for your school, then I want to be able to pass by the table and see a student working on something. And before I say, what are you working on? I see that logo and I know he's good. I know my baby's in good hands. That's what you want. When you're dealing with social media, when you're branding yourself, you have to be on social media. You do not have a choice. Personally, Desiree Alexander only has a Facebook page. Desiree is very simplistic with her social media. Educator Alexander has everything you can imagine. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google+, Pinterest, Snapchat, YouTube channel, Periscope. Anything that comes out, Educator Alexander goes and snatches it up. Even though I may not use every account that's out there, I do go and get my name. So as soon as you hear, oh, what's the new hot? What's the new hot, social media? Go and get your name. Just create an account. Get your name, whatever your name is, and be done. You don't have to look at it for a couple of months. Just get it. But when you do get those, I'm going to say definitely Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, I'm going to put Pinterest kind of, but those are the top 3 that you need to definitely be active on, especially Twitter. So if you're not on Twitter right now, Twitter is like an educational bonanza. There's so much on there for education. So if you're not on Twitter personally, that's fine, but you need to get on there with your brand. Now, when you start your social media accounts will be for your brand, not your personal account. Do not mix up your personal account with your brand accounts. Your brand account should be completely separate. Also, you need to keep your brand account on topic. What do I mean by that? On Educator Alexander, you will not see anything about anything except education. Educator Alexander, you'll see all kinds of stuff. Desiree. I like to say Desiree Alexander has a race, she has a gender, she has political views, she has religion views. Educator Alexander is just a big old blob. No race, no gender. Educator Alexander is out there. It's just a big old blob. Has no opinions on anything. Okay? Now, you may not see anything on Educator Alexander about The Walking Dead, but you'll definitely see stuff on Desiree Alexander all day long about The Walking Dead. So you just got to keep it separate. When things happen, like let's say this election, Desiree Alexander posted things about the election. Educator Alexander was silent. So even if something drastic happens, even if something happens in the world where people are saying, oh my, Crystal, don't even start. Even if Shit, that took me all, and I just want to talk about The Walking Dead. Even if something really happens in the world that's really horrible, people are putting like heartfelt messages, and your brand account is just silent during that time. You're being respectful, you're silent. You go to your personal account and put that heartfelt message and say, I'm sorry for what happened. So that's how drastic. Your brand account is strictly for your brand. That's point blank, period. Because you'll see people crossing over, and I'll see people that I follow because I want those good tips that you give, and then they'll put something political on there, and I'm like, that's not why I followed you. And then you lose me. So you don't want to do that. Websites and blogs. So you need to think about, do you want a website, do you want a blog, or do you want both? The difference between them is a website is a place that you go and post information. A blog is a place where you go and post your opinions about things. So if you're like, oh guys, we have this good tip, it's awesome, I wanted to show you what I did with it with my students, that's a blog. You can have a blog on your website. Absolutely. People do it every day. But you need to decide what you want to do. Yeah, so some people have a blog without the website. Some people have a website without the blog. So you decide. One thing is you want to see your URL name. Again, see if you want to see if it's available and things like that for either your blog, your website, or both. And then you want to think about, do you want a paid or unpaid website account? So if you go to a place like Weebly or GoDaddy or Wix, you can get a free account, which is completely fine. But you need to think about, okay, what do I get if I pay for this website account? Oh, well, you get a search bar. Well, I don't need a search bar. Keep your free account. That's fine. So just decide, look at what they're giving you for the paid account and see if it's worth it. But that's for the website account. You need to purchase your domain. You need to do that. What do I mean by that? What's a domain? The domain is your URL. So you need to purchase your URL. You may not want to pay for the website account because you don't need the special stuff that they give you, but you need to pay for your website account. I'm so sorry. Pay for your domain. When you first get started, you can be, educatoralexander.weebly.com. That's fine. But don't keep that for too long. When you get serious about your brand, you want to purchase educatoralexander.com. You want to purchase your domain. When you go to purchase your domain, you can either purchase it from the place that you build your website, or you can purchase it from like a GoDaddy, which sometimes you'll get a domain for $2 for the first year, then the second year will be $20. It's not going to break the bank. But do purchase your domain. It just looks way more professional. Also, you need to decide, do you want to have advertising on your site? It's up to you. I know people that do it and it doesn't look bad. It looks okay. And then I know people that the advertising pretty much takes over their entire website. And the reason you will advertise on your website, that you can go to Google and different places and they'll put ads on your website. Then if people click on it, you make money. So it's on you. Just think about that and think about how you want your website to look and things like that. Harvesting email addresses. We've all gone to websites, and as soon as you click on the website, something pops up and says, hey, put your email here so you can get my newsletter, or hey, put your email here and I'll send you blah, blah, blah. That's called harvesting email addresses. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's just it's a decision you make, and what they do is they'll get your email address. They'll send you whatever they said they'll send you. And then they have your email address. They have a list of people that are interested in their product. Completely up to you how you do it. Just do realize that sometimes when the pop-up comes up and it takes over the whole screen, it can get a little frustrating for your users. So do think about that kind of stuff. When you're thinking about original material, at first, when you first start branding, you may, unless you already have like a whole bunch of original material, which especially my people that are still in the classroom, you have a whole bunch of original material. But you may start posting like other people's stuff, like, oh, this is cool, this is cool. But start thinking about, what original material can you make? What handout can you make? I promise you guys that you have something sitting in a folder that people want. You have something sitting in a folder that people are like, I really don't feel like making this handout. I wish I could just find it on somebody's website. You have original material. The thing you need to do is edit your original material and put your logo on it. Put your name on it. You do not give anything away without your logo and your name on it. That's how you build your clientele. If you have a website, somebody from Canada can go and find that handout and go, oh, this is really good. And then they spread it around their school. And then people are going, where did you get that handout? It's really good. Oh, look at the bottom. And now you have more people going to your site, seeing what else you have. You put your logo and your name on everything. You are constantly promoting your brand. For social media, I'm going to give you, when I get to my kind of tips slide, I'm going to give you a couple of websites that you can use to actually schedule your posts for social media. And what that means is if you see, I'm just waiting for the day that someone in my district comes to me and says, why are you posting to Twitter in the middle of the day? Because what I do is I schedule my posts. So I'll wake up one morning and I'll just find a lot of content or an article I really like. I just put them in a folder in my email to save them until I'm ready. And then I'll just schedule a post. So I'll schedule a post for tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, and then I'll schedule it for the next day. I mean, you can schedule a month of posts at the same time. And then what happens is whenever you scheduled it, it'll just hit Twitter. It'll hit Facebook. It'll hit Instagram. It'll just go out whenever you tell it to go out, and you don't have to sit there on social media all day long. So you can schedule your post. When you're thinking about PDF documents, this is a little bit further down the line, but you do have an option to do secure or unsecure documents if you pay for a PDF maker like Adobe. If you pay for that PDF maker, you can, of course, turn all your Word documents into PDFs, which I do suggest unless you want your document to be editable by anyone. If you make your document a PDF secure document, that means another person will have to have a password to edit it. So, like right now, I have a PDF, an Adobe PDF maker, where I can pretty much go get any PDF off the internet and change it into a Word document and do whatever I want to with it. If it's a secure document, and that's what governments use, as soon as I try to put it in my paid PDF maker, it will not let me do anything to that document. So, you know, when you get kind of further up there and you're really, getting into this, you may want to think about making some documents secure versus unsecure, if that is something that comes up. When you're thinking about a blog, do think about how often you're going to post. You don't want to start a blog and then I don't hear from you from a month. I want some content. I want to see what you're thinking. So you need to have a communication plan of how many times am I going to post on my blog. And again, you definitely want to keep it professional. So you don't want to go off on a rant on your blog. But how many times am I going to post to my blog? They have blogs that make money. They have blogs that become companies. So blogging is not, people are like, oh, yeah, I have a little blog. Blogging is big money and like big business. So if you get into blogging, definitely that's something you can make big money with. Okay, I have a question. Okay, so to make a PDF, the question is, I didn't know that. I thought all PDFs were secure. Can you repeat how to make it secure again? So the first thing you'll have to do is pay for like I have Adobe DC Pro, I think is what it's called. So you pay for a PDF maker like Adobe, and then when you do that, when you turn it into a PDF, there's a button that you can press to put a password on it. So that way, if I go and put it online and somebody downloads it and they have the same program I have that can turn pretty much any PDF into a Word document, as soon as they press to turn it into a Word document, the screen is going to come up and say, well, what's that? What is the password? And that's what governments do. So if I go to a government site and download like an application and I want to turn it into a Word document, it's not going to let me. So PDFs are secure unless you have somebody like me or, millions of other people that have a PDF maker and that they could just turn it into a Word document and do whatever they want to with it. So, but it is more secure for your everyday person. Alright, some tips when starting your brand. This is when I get on my soapbox. Some tips start your brand. So number one is please get yourself a professional picture. That's not a picture with your kids. That's not a picture with your dog. That's not a picture of you in the garden or you in the club. If you have to cut somebody out the picture, that is not a professional picture. So get yourself a professional picture. And I like to warn people at this point, I did not say go out and spend $500 on a picture. That is not what I said. I said get yourself a professional picture. This can even be your yearbook picture. If your yearbook picture looks really nice, you have a professional picture. But get yourself a professional picture is usually a headshot. Some people have a full body, but usually it's a headshot starting with the shoulders. Get yourself a professional picture. Also, type up your professional bio. When you're thinking about your professional bio, it should never have I in it. Your professional bio is as if someone else is typing it about you. Desiree Alexander, blah, 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 blah. She, blah, 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 blah. So type yourself up a professional bio and have it at various lengths. What I mean by that, my professional bio, if you go on my website, is really long. It has everything you want to know about me professionally. Everybody doesn't want all that. Okay? So have it at various lengths. Have a one paragraph one. Have one that's under 100 words. Because when you start branding yourself and people start seeing you and people start wanting more of you and they want you to do a webinar and they want you to be published or publish this article or come talk to our kids or come talk to our team, you're going to start getting those kind of requests. When you do, you want to be able to very quickly give them what they need. So what you need to do is to start a folder on your desktop or in the cloud or wherever you keep your files. Start a folder where your professional picture is in there. You have a Word document of all of your professional bios at different lengths. And when you're thinking about your bios, think about what are those non-negotiables. If you only had one line, if I said I need a bio that's one sentence, what would be in that one sentence? What's your non-negotiable that has to be in every bio? For me, it would be Educator Alexander. I want my brand in every bio. So what would be that non-negotiable? That should go somewhere at the top of your bio. And make sure that it's in every one of them. Presentation descriptions. When you start presenting, even doing a webinar, or presenting any information, come up with a jazzy title and come up with a description of what your users are going to learn. Even if you actually don't use the description, like if I say, hey, I want you to come talk, and you say, oh, you need a description. No, I don't need anything. Still come up with a description and a title. Why? When those conference proposals come out, and you know how you see those emails and you go, oh, I wish I had time to, I don't have time to do that. I'm going to the conference, but I don't have time to do all these proposals. Well, you know what? If you start holding on to the stuff that you already do and you start holding on to your presentation descriptions and all those good things, you're going to have a folder with everything already in it. It's going to take you 2 seconds to fill out that description. You already have your bio. You already have your title. You already have your picture. You're going to already have this stuff. And keep your resume updated. It doesn't mean you want to leave wherever you are. I don't know why people get scared about keeping their resume updated. Sometimes they won't ask for a bio. They'll say, well, just send me your resume. You don't know what kind of opportunities are going to come up for you. So say, if I ask you, hey, I need your resume, you go, oh, I'll send it to you next week. I need to update it this weekend. You've already lost me. So keep your resume updated in that same folder. When you do stuff like this, webinars, presentations, whatever, have some type of evaluation so you can get some feedback. You know yourself, you're constantly self-reflecting, but you want feedback from other people. So have some type of evaluation. On my website, I just have a comment screen that people can just put comments about the sessions that they come to for me. So have some type of evaluation. Put your logo on. I cannot stress enough to put your logo on everything that you do. Okay? You're constantly promoting yourself. Not in an obnoxious way. Okay? Not like, oh, here he comes again. He's going to start talking about his company. I didn't say you have to talk about it everywhere. But put your logo on everything that you do. Everything that you give out, put that logo on it. I suggest you get yourself a Google Voice phone number. My 225 number is everywhere. I mean, it's out there in the world bad, so I don't care. I'm kind of past this. But when you first get started, get yourself a Google Voice phone number. It's a free phone number, and you can connect it to your phone. You can connect it to your cell phone you have now. It's a phone number you can give out. They cannot trace where it's coming from. All they're going to do is trace it to Google. Okay? And what it does is when people call it, it's going to say, oh, say your name here. So they'll say, Desiree Alexander. And then when you'll get a call, just like normal on your cell phone, and you'll say, you have a call from, and then you'll say the name, which people never say their name for some reason. And then it says, press 1 to connect. And you'll press 1, and you'll connect you to the person. If they have to leave a message, what I love about Google Voice is that it will actually transcribe the message and send you an email. So I can actually see the email and go, oh, this is a bogus call, or oh, this is somebody I need to call back. So it actually transcribes it for you most of the time. Sometimes they can't transcribe it, but it'll transcribe it for you and send you an email with the message. It's amazing, and it's all for free. Get yourself business cards, professional business cards. You are past the age to print out your own business cards. And you know how we used to fold, and you're past that age. Get yourself and I don't care how old you are, you're past that age. Get yourself a professional business card. My second thing for business cards is give them out. You get them to give them out. I've had somebody, I went to a conference and they were giving out business cards, and I went to get one, and they were like, I only have one left. Can you take a picture of it? And I just walked. I was like, no, thank you. Thank you so much. And I just walked away. If you're at your last business card, you give it out with a smile, and then you frown on your way back to the computer to order some more. Give them out. I had a lady actually take a business card from me, drop it on the floor by mistake, and then put her hand out for another one. Was I happy? Absolutely not. But I gave her another one with a smile. And when she left, I went and pick up my doggone business card and put it back in my stack. So give them out. The last bullet on here are some companies that you can use to kind of get yourself started that won't break the bank. Vistaprint is a really good company for business cards and anything that you need to print. Not that expensive at all. And they constantly have discounts and coupons. Weebly, Wix are good places to build your website. I'm going to skip Fiverr for a second. Hootsuite and Buffer. I need to add Buffer. I only use Hootsuite now, but I just put it in the chat box. Hootsuite and Buffer are those two sites that you can go on for free to schedule your posts for social media. So you can go on there, you can schedule your posts. Now, of course, Hootsuite has certain social media. Buffer has the other social media, stuff like that. We don't have one that's all encompassing and perfect. But it's good to get you started. And they do have paid aspects to it, but you're good with starting with the free account. Then there's Fiverr. How I love Fiverr. Fiverr is where you go and you can create business cards, you can create logos, you can create flyers, you can get your paper written, you can get your video done. It's ridiculous. Fiverr used to, not everything, most things used to start at $5. That's why it was called Fiverr. Now it starts at $6. So, I mean, it's just an amazing platform. They have people from all over the world on there that's pretty much selling their skills. So if you're a good flyer maker, you can go on Fiverr and sell flyers and say, hey, just tell me what you want and I'll make a flyer for you. It's amazing. If you use Fiverr and you're serious about using Fiverr, you can email me and I can give you the people because it's people, like you have to try them out, see if they're good, and that you can't get your money back. There's people, like I said, all over the world that's offering their services to you. The logo that you see right now, I created my own logo, but I actually sent it to them and got them to make it pretty and make it good and make it transparent and all that kind of stuff. They'll create stuff for you. Even if you don't really know what you want, you can just go and say, hey, I'm kind of looking for something educational. And they'll come up with something and you can say if you like it or not. You always want to go to somebody that says you can have revisions, because that means you could go back and forth and go, no, I don't like that, change this, and go back and forth. But Fiverr is just, I can't stress to you enough. Everything you see from my social media headings and the pictures behind it. Everything you see was made on Fiverr. Once I learned about it, I fell in love with it, and I use it for everything. If you want a free $5 gig is what they call them. Now, everything on Fiverr doesn't fall under the free gig, but at least you can test it out. Send me an email, and I'll put my email on here. Send me an email and tell me to send you a free $5 gig, and I will send it to you. And I don't get anything from it unless I think you have to spend $20, and I'll get $5. So, and most people, when they first get started, don't do that. So it's really not a big deal. But you can send me an email, and I will send you a free $5 gig. So yay you. All right. So contact me anytime when you're thinking about your brand or trying to get started. I am one of those people that are very open, probably too open, with my story and my resources and things like that. We do have an evaluation. If you go to the web links box where it says web links to at the bottom right hand corner and click comments and browse to, if you can please leave a comment. I do share these comments with APEL, who's sponsoring this webinar, and we like to see if you like these and want more. So please leave a comment. Or you can just go to my website, and actually you don't click on contact, you just click on comments. So you can just go to my website and click on comments. Very good question, Cynthia. Let me put this screen back up. All right, so these are the directions. Cynthia, this will be on my YouTube channel that we did, what I call it? Recorded. My mind just went completely blank. We are recording it, so it will be on my YouTube channel either tonight or in the morning. But if you go to my website, educatoralexander.com, and click on presentations and then click on branding, I have 2 webinars already on there. So you can get these, you can get the handouts that I showed you with the flow chart to help you get started with your brand. You can get those. You can get a whole bunch of stuff. The PowerPoint is on there. So you can go, again, it's educatoralexander.com. You can go to, it's on the screen, educatoralexander.com. Go to presentations and go to branding. And you can actually get all the resources that I talked about. And a couple of more. Now, I will tell you that the next APEL, you're very welcome. The next APEL webinar will be December 13th. From 6 to 7 p.m. and it's all about Google Classroom. So if you are interested in Google Classroom, this would be a great, great, great hour. I go through everything that you need to know to get started with Google Classroom and how to use it. So that will be 6 to 7 p.m. Tuesday, December 13th. This flyer is always on my website under upcoming or under APEL. So again, if you want any other information about joining APEL, just please let me know. When you signed in, if you checked yes, then I will be sending you information about how to join. If you didn't and you are interested, you just put it in the chat box. Hey, send me some information. Or you can send me an email and I'll send you the application and everything like that to join APEL. And possibly, if you're already part of a union, drop the union and join this non-union, because it is not a union, but you still get all of the professional liability insurance and much, much more. So there you go. Thank you so much for coming to our webinar. I appreciate it. Please make sure that you go to comments. And also, Cynthia, if you go to branding resources in the web links box at the bottom, you can click that and click browse to, and it'll bring you exactly where you want to be. So thank you guys. I appreciate you coming. We're at the end. You guys have a great night. If you have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the chat box. I would love to answer them.